Hey everybody. Haven't seen a train video from me in a while, or at least not one of this layout. Over winter, just really hard to get out and get some time in on this thing. But there was a train show last weekend and I picked up two new goodies. Not him, he's been here a while. But I picked up a classic LGB Mogul here and a more modern LGB Mogul here. Now I've already got two Moguls. I've actually owned a handful of Moguls over the years. But this one here, the red and green, the classic LGB Mogul, my dad and I, when I was a kid, I was looking into LGB catalogs and this is the one I always wanted. And my dad and I would save up our money, and by the time I had enough money to purchase it, I don't know if it was discontinued or what, but the only one they had was the one you've seen on my layout before, which is the gray and green and red roof version. And while I'm really happy with that one, and I still think that locomotive looks really nice, this is just one of those, you know, like every man when he's in his midlife crisis, I wanted this when I was a kid. And so I saw this one at a train show. Some guy, his friend had passed away, unfortunately, and they were selling off a lot of his G-scale stuff, and they had this. So let's open the box and take a look at this one, and then we'll move on to the next one after that. There she is. So guys, the day after the show, I actually did take this inside. I tried to dust it off and clean it up a little bit. It was missing this cap right here. So this is a 3D print and design I made to replace that. These were loose, so I re-glued those. But overall, it's in good condition. So let's start with the tender. It's missing the guy. So I might take this dude, modify him so he's holding a piece of wood and throw him in there, or 3D print my own guy. We'll see. Not too worried about that. The price I paid for this, it's perfectly acceptable that it wasn't 100% complete and in mint condition. But you could see there's no real damage to it. The wheels on the Mogul the tender look really good. They do have this, which is kind of weird. Not sure if that's normal or not. It doesn't look like it to me. I think this should sit farther back. I think this screw is supposed to go in that hole. But I'm going to put hook and loop on it because that's what I run on my layout. And you can hear everyone screaming, why? Because I don't like knuckles and they don't do good when you're pushing a train up a lot of grade. So here's the locomotive itself. Again, I kind of went through and cleaned it. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's in good shape. Here in the light of day, I'm noticing a few little smudges and stuff I probably want to try to clean up better, but let's take a look at the wheels. So it's got some wear. You know, it's definitely not new, but I haven't tried running this yet. So switch position 2. So I say let's throw this thing on the layout and see how good she runs, okay? All right, guys. Got her on the tracks. Let's see how well she works, okay? Going forward just fine. Speed her up. Full speed, I think. There we go. Let's try reverse. Seems to be going well. Put her back and forward. Yeah, she's looking good. Seems to be running okay. Dog won't get out of the shot. He wants some attention. See, it's wobbling a little bit, so maybe I need to check to make sure the drivetrain is quartered properly, that there's no wheel slippage. Overall, pretty good. All right, let's try putting some smoke fluid in here. Just gonna put a little bit. I notice if you put too much, it takes a long time for it to actually ignite. Maybe a little more. Okay, there we go. Let's let her run for a minute and see if that kicks on. Oh, that didn't take long. There it goes. Already smoking. I tell you what, that's better than some of my modern LGB locomotives. Although that's what they say, right? They say the LGB stuff made before 2000 is pretty good. It's the stuff made after 2000 that's a little less so, maybe. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, well, while the red and green Mogul does its thing over there, let's open up the next one. Put my foot under the styrofoam. Never fails. Ugh. That was not the most graceful extraction ever. Okay. So here's this one. This does have the bear trap. It's in here. So let's go ahead and remove the tender first. And there's the little bear trap. So that, you guys might know, I've 3D printed one of these. Not an exact copy, but close enough. So this one should have the sound and everything else. I have not popped this off to check the battery, so it may or may not need a 9-volt battery replacement. We'll find out. Put this guy on the tracks. Man, that's smoking so good. Now this one is the all black Mogul. I mean, it's a little bit more of a gunmetal color up here instead of the silver. I really kind of like this look though, the all black look of this locomotive, number 4. Let's take a look at the wheels. You can see there's very little use on these. So this alone was probably worth the price I paid, if not even more. So assuming it works, right? Guess we'll find out. Oh, get it on the track. Get this guy plugged in. Okay. Okay. All right, so let's see if this one works. Grab my remote and test that out. Okay, here we go with this one. See if this guy works. Well, it's moving. I don't hear any sound, but it's moving. Let's try reverse. The light works. I'm gonna have to check the switch, or maybe the volume's turned down, or it could be that battery. But yeah, it's running fine. So I'm gonna have to check on what's going on with the sound there. I'll let it do a loop and then I'll investigate. This one's running really good too. Very happy with this. So let's put some smoke fluid in there, see if that works. Even though with the bear trap, it's kind of unnecessary. And then let me check out some switches and stuff, see if I can find out why it's not making noise. Well, sure enough, the switch was in the 2nd position instead of the 3rd position. So I switched it. I've put some smoke fluid in there. Let's see if this works now. Oh, there we go. No smoke yet. So I'll give it a minute and see if it kicks on. That one's still smoking good. Okay, now it's starting to smoke. Not much though. Isn't that just the perfect analogy to what I just said though? Or a good example, I should say, how this one, I think this Mogul was made in 2006 or 5, right before LGB went bankrupt. That one was made in like 85 or something, and look at that smoke unit. Just absolutely killing it. Doing a perfect job. Probably 40 years old, unless the guy replaced it, but I'm betting that's the original. Meanwhile, there's that brand new one from their later line, and it's barely putting out anything. Just like my Mikado and the Malay. Too bad. Really too bad. But since this thing has a bear trap anyway, I'm not sure how much I would use that anyway. Luckily, the train runs just fine. Sound is okay. Sounds a little weird at higher speeds to me. Maybe that's normal. Either way, quite a nice Mogul. All right, it took about 5 minutes, but now this one's smoking pretty good. If anybody is curious, that's what an LGB Mogul looks like when it's smoking with a bear trap on. Just kind of leaks out the bottom of the cap. Quick question. Usually there's a knob right there. You can see the icon for volume, but there's no knob, and I shone a flashlight down in there, and there's no like screwdriver or screw or potentiometer. Not sure how I'm supposed to adjust the volume on this, or maybe it has an aftermarket sound unit. So I might have to open this up and take a look. Unless somebody else sees this and you know what I'm missing, let me know. All right. So I did some internet research. Apparently the volume knob is right there now on the cab. So I guess this is applicable for any of the locomotives with the MTS soundboard. Not any, but the Moguls. So like most of them made after 2000 have it right there. Yeah, there's some information in case anyone else wonders.